the devil was that?
It's a spring.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, kids.
Say that again. Nice
Okay.
And slow.
Just a minute, kids. Here.
This works.
KW.
Lowercase.
Yeah, all lowercase. DWS at. Were you able to hear the song I was playing? I had earphones on so I can hear because our transmitter, the antenna is down. We have a shorted cable wire. We're hoping, I've got wire here to fix it. I'm hoping to be able to get to it in the next week to 10 days. It's going to take a couple people to do that. It's not that, no music. Oh, well, I'm sorry about that. We tried, but otherwise I'd have been on there sooner. Of course, maybe I disrupted it when I was doing that. Well, we'll try. I'll play that song later. Lunchtime, halftime, and that. Okay, I see there was no music went through. I'm sorry. I wouldn't have sat there that long. But I was enjoying it. It was called Swords in the Wind. Yeah, I forget who it was. No, I'm not going to clear the screen to bring it back up to you. I think it was wasn't Man of War. Anyway, lots of goodies going on. Hi, Jack. Hi, Emmy. Hi, Clay. Glad to see you guys here. Anyway, well, it says we got 5 people that were looking at our show tonight. That's good. Last week, I don't know if any of you tried to go back and view any of the show last week, but we got interrupted 2 times. And after the second one, I did come back up and I just farted around with a little bit because it was only like 5 minutes or so. But anyway, if you were there and checked it out, that'd be nice to know. Happy New Year! Yeah, Happy New Year to you, and hope it may be better than what the last one has been. Although it don't look like it's going to start that way since we have the new idiots in charge coming here pretty soon. Yes, you heard it right. Idiots in charge. And Scotty and I were just discussing who's 81, by the way, is going to step up as VP. Now, yeah, YouTube was really screwing with us last week, and I was all by myself, and I can't figure out what I was doing. I see nothing, I know nothing, I hear nothing. You know, what the hell? So, anyway, I'm looking for some drastic changes in Washington shortly. I'm going to say with a 6-month period, 6 months out. I don't think you're going to see anything too quick because I think we're going to see, well, first of all, everybody don't spend your stimulus check all in one place. You ought to write your congressman and ask them, how come you guys would only give us $600 a stimulus check when you guys raised your pay by $7,700? I believe that is the figure that they come up with. And but I do believe that after Biden gets sworn in, if nothing else happens, that another stimulus check.
That everything's going to be perfect from here on out because Joe's president.
Yeah. Their hats, kids, because it looks like it might be another rough night on YouTube because they don't like what we're talking about. And I can't figure out why they are so afraid of freedom of speech. Okay? Because I'm hoping you're right, Emmy. It all depends on what the Republicans do in the Senate. If they get behind the president and are able to see the evidence of the fraud, that they'll throw the thing out. They'll throw the election out, and that. But that's basically about his last chance, seeing as how the courts have all stepped aside and said there's no evidence to show that there was voter fraud. Well, they found in Pennsylvania. I think I mentioned it last week. Law, you're in violation of the federal election laws. Yes, sir. You, sir, the third row man over there, the fifth one from the right.
Can you check your email for a quote from a book of the Bible that I'm not very familiar with, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. And it says, "Let he who hath not an AR-15 take his $600 stimulus and buyeth one. If he receives $1,200, take the other portion and buyeth ammo." Preparations 2021.
The reason I did that is I've been
And it's got a picture of Jesus holding the AR-15.
Yeah. I've been places that have 5.56, but it's in 1,000-round cases,
Oh,
and it's like $600-700 a case.
oh.
So I'm not able to. I'm not able to purchase any. I do have 200 rounds of Wolf.
Woof.
Woof. Woof. Okay, I don't see anything here on the inbox. Let's go to junk mail and see what that says.
Speaking of ammo, I don't go out ammo shopping all that often because I know that it's not out there. So I calibers
Well,
that
yeah, some of the oddball calibers are available because they were
Nope.
expensive to start with.
it's super expensive and nobody really wants them.
Yeah,
But then there was the shotgun, which I figured, well, I'm walking by, I'll just grab, what's it going to cost me to get a box of 5 slugs? $16 for 5 shotgun slugs. I didn't read if they were like super duper special nitro, give you a handy under the table express or
well, if
something.
you need some,
I didn't. I was walking by. I figured
I'm going to check. Probably tonight, I'm going to check a couple of my places. A couple of places had some shotgun shells, but I don't remember if they were what they were. They were a lot more expensive than they used to be. But
I remember back day after I got out of the Army, you had some oddball shotgun shells here, and I bought a box or a 3-round. Oh shit! This is like the one that you keep in your back pocket for like the final zombie push. But
well, I don't
steel
flechettes.
No, it's instead of like your typical pellets, these were like little cubes of steel.
Be a minute of dead air while I talk to Scott. Not shot. A couple minutes of dead air.
And so I was saying, there is nothing that's going to happen better than a Democratic presidency of Lord Biden and his lady, Ms. Kamala Harris, the vice president. I think that in Pelosi leading Congress, House Representatives, it's going to be a golden age.
Well, like I say, I believe Biden's going to come through with the help of Pelosi to come up with a second stimulus check and become the hero of the century for this country. And I believe his mandatory mask mandate is going to work just fine. Okay, it's going to finally get people to get in lockstep so that everybody is doing the same thing so that they can put a stop to this coronavirus before it gets too mutated for the other one that is supposedly coming in. I
have a couple of stories that I printed from home. This one's from across the pond, who did nothing as BLM ripped down statue honored with medal. The police chief who stood back and did nothing as Black Lives Matter activists ripped down a historic statue in Bristol, England during lockdown has received a medal in the New Year hours, and the New Year honors, Superintendent Andy Bennett was in charge of the response or non-response to BLM activists pouring into the streets of Bristol despite a national lockdown to topple a 125-year-old bronze statue of Edward Colston. He was alive from 1636 to 1721. A figure once revered as a great Christian philanthropist for his then unremarkable business links to the slave trade. I do understand why it's happened. It's very symbolic, Bennett told reporters after the incident, which saw officers look on as BLM activists spent some considerable amount of time defacing the fallen statue and then dragging it through the streets to throw into the harbor. We made a very tactical decision to stop them from doing the act may have caused further disorder, and we decided the safest thing to do in terms of our policing tactics was to allow it to take place, he went on. The right thing to do was just to allow it to happen because we did not want what we did not want is tension, he concluded, more or less admitting that he was unwilling to enforce the law for fear of upsetting BLM. Bennett's lack of action was harshly criticized by many, but he would later double down on his behavior, saying, "No one got hurt and we had no arrest in the whole protest. That is 10,000 passionate people. Bristol should be proud of itself." The ineffectual officer's summary of events neatly skips over the facts that the reason there were no arrests or scuffles with police is that the police simply allowed. However, he goes on to say, "I am humbled to receive this award, particularly at a time when so many are working tirelessly to help others during the pandemic," said Bennett of Avon and Somerset Police after receiving his Queen's Policing Medal in Boris Johnson's New Year's honors. "I also want to recognize those members of the who have stepped forward, citizens of Bristol," he added. List. Brexit campaign leader Nigel Farage.
Asters after your name there, Clay. Yellow with a blue stripe through the center, which usually means no, but I can't make out what that emblem is in the center of it. You want to explain that to me? Just may be that I'm stupid, but again, there's a lot because I'm not a computer genius. Again, there's a lot because I'm not a computer genius. Again, there's a lot because I'm not a computer genius. Mama is getting better. Yeah, if it's pro anti-Trump, you can put it on anything and then you don't get censored for it. So anyway, I lost my train of thought. Bleep. Well, don't worry, kids. Another one will come by in a minute. See what I mean about memory? And in fact, I ordered some memory pills to see if I can loosen my brain up a little bit. So anyway, how are you kids out there on your New Year's? Did you have a good New Year's? I know everybody's wishing each other a Happy New Year. Did you have the traditional, leastwise in my family, the traditional sauerkraut, pork, kibasi, mashed potatoes, green beans, and numbers of pies, cookies, and ice cream?
We didn't do sauerkraut this year.
You didn't do sauerkraut this
year? Yeah, we weren't really feeling it. I got a couple of pork roasts and made pulled pork, barbecue sauce.
Last few years, I've been putting caraway seeds in my sauerkraut and about 2/3 of a can of beer, and really makes a nice taste.
Nice.
Yeah.
I realized something on day/Christmas Eve. I worked both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and I realized that 30 years ago, on Christmas Eve, I left Germany for Saudi Arabia. And Christmas Day, 1990, we landed in Saudi Arabia in the build-up for Operation Desert Storm.
Yeah, because you were out at my place about a month before.
Oh, yeah. I was at home on leave from the middle of November to the middle of December. And then, I think the 16th, I flew out of Jersey into the unknown. Got to my unit on December 17th. December 25th, we deployed to Southwest Asia.
Was your black eye gone by then?
No. I had a lot of stories about that one.
You might, if you want, you can go ahead and explain that to the kids.
Oh.
I know what I wanted to do. After you get done there, I wanted to go back to Flechettes.
Flechettes. All right. Here's the story. It was Monday Night Football. At the time, I wasn't much of a drinker, I was a younger man, so I didn't drink a whole lot. And young Daryl drank a little bit with us, and Daryl was very fond at the time of Yukon Jack. It was, like I said, it was Monday Night Football. We sat down at 7:30, 8 o'clock. We all had our little glasses full of ice, and we just kept filling it up. At some point, I don't know where I was, if I was coming back from the bathroom, my head hit the shelf with a couple of plants on it. They were on the floor in the morning. Kitchen, and I went to there's like a step down into his family room, and I went to step down into that, and I lost my balance, and then young Daryl, or I don't know if it was you on top of me or young Daryl.
You went down, you hit your head on the couch.
Well, I hit my head on the couch too.
Yeah.
Which got this huge shiner, which I took with me. But yeah, and then these two knuckleheads, they dogpile me. And I remember waking up the next day wanting to die. It was pretty rough.
We didn't have much to drink because we only had one bottle of Yukon Jack between the three of us.
It was a half gallon.
But it was a half gallon, and there was only 2 inches left in there when we got done. So if any of you know anything about uke and puke.
But yeah, I whacked my head off the couch he still has.
Oh, no buffering since we've been talking nice.
Nice.
So.
But yeah, I lost somehow I think I was doing calisthenics in trying to get myself more physically fit, and the wind pushed.
It's a strong couch. I reinforced it.
Beastie.
It was a pulled out one for people to, a day bed. Well, the day bed part quit working, so I pulled the guts out and made a 2x4 frame and put in there and then put the cushions back on it. So it works good.
Here's something interesting posted on my Facebook. This is by Dr. Alan Greensberg, MD. As a retired physician, I can honestly say that unless you are in a serious accident, your best chance of living to a ripe old age is to avoid doctors and hospitals and learn nutrition, herbal medicine, and other forms of natural medicine. Unless you are fortunate enough to have a naturopathic physician available. Almost all drugs are toxic and are designed only to treat symptoms and not cure anyone.
Yeah, I've heard that for years, and
yeah,
that's why I've been trying to find the combination of different minerals and vitamins to keep me going. But it might be just a little bit too late with all the problems I got. But anyway, yeah,
and some of us are just cursed with genetics.
I know. We do have heart problems in our family, and we did have sugar diabetes in the family, and tendency to cancer was running in our family on my mother's side. So was diabetes. But anyway, I'm going to repeat this. Scott and I were talking about this before the show. We have been on the internet, and I found from different sources, not just one source, but different sources that I've gone to on the internet. And I won't try to mention them because I can't remember them all, because it's just one of the things I sit down and do when I'm looking. And one of the key ingredients that most of the doctors have said that have been putting stuff out there, one of the key ingredients is vitamin D, 5,000 milligrams a day. Okay. Now, the VA told me here about a year ago that I was low on vitamin D. So they started me out with 1,000. And then they said, go to 3,000. And I did that. And I'm still low on my vitamin D. So in the next 10 days, I've got 5,000 milligrams of vitamin D coming. So I'm going to step it up to 5,000. I also take a double dose of vitamin C, vitamin E, magnesium oxide, and since I can't find zinc, I am taking a antioxidant that has the vitamin or zinc in it. It also has magnesium, but being that these are brand names, they do not have enough in it, so it don't hurt to have a couple sources. But anyway.
Here's an interesting thought off of the Facebook machine. I don't know if there's any scientific data to go with this, but it's an interesting thought. Hear me out.
Yeah.
If they put the vaccine in beer and opened up the... There you go. Better living through beer.
Yeah. Water, beer, liquid. Well, when Mom was having her problems, I went to see the psychiatrist that she was going to see. And I jokingly said to him that I'm going to start having her drink beer. And he says, well, about 3 beers a day is equal to the strength of the one medicine that we are giving her. So that would be all right. But we didn't do that. But anyway, so getting to the flechettes, as we were talking about earlier. I have an acquaintance. He may be dead by now. An older gentleman who was over in Vietnam, and he was a welder. And he was stationed on one of the larger bases. And
did he have a cold ass? Because I've often heard that it's colder than a welder's ass.
I don't know.
Just curious.
I never touched it. You can't touch this. Anyway, he carried a shotgun, and one night the gooks busted through the wire and running rampage across the compound. And so he got the alert, and he got his shotgun, and he loaded it with flechettes, and he was out there standing outside his duty station watching for gooks. And he said some of them come flying by there, and he fired, and he emptied his gun on these damn bastards. Through there, and through that pattern of flechettes, and didn't seem to slow them down. So he went in, after things quieted down, he sent home and got one of them Lee Lodals, the shotgun loaders. And being he worked in a weld shop, he had welding rods, so he cut the welding rod into 1-inch lengths and loaded up the shotgun shells. That caused the bullets to tumble. But if you hit something with it, that caused the bullets to tumble. But if you hit something with it with a tumbling bullet, it did a lot of damage. And but anyway. Buffer. Okay, guys, we're talking about guns and Vietnam and all that kind of stuff, so I guess they don't want us to do that. So we'll be nice and we'll change the subject and we won't talk about guns because, you shouldn't have them. Didn't you know guns are dangerous? You could get hurt with one of those. and you might not be able to. You aren't going to save your life. You're just going to get into trouble.
I did what you suggested I did years ago and got rid of all of them.
Yeah.
I traded them in for a sack of beans and one of those little flutes.
Yeah.
Quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I traded mine in for a bag of rice.
Much better.
Actually, it was a bowl of rice.
I feel better about it.
Yeah. 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 I'm glad I don't have any either. So.
Guns are bad, okay?
Yeah, they're evil. They're the devil's own tool. So
Buffer.
Yeah, probably get his buffered again. Probably get his buffered again. Happens to be
all of the various over there and play with your oil. Oh, now
all of a sudden we're down to just one person watching. Woodward, so they are punishing him. How about that, kids? They are punishing me. There's in that show. I don't know.
we should not swear any.